I've built a lot of castles in Minecraft, but today's build in particular is one of the most aesthetic and unique castles that I've built. It is functional from its defenses to its location on the map, and in this video I share the story behind it, as well as a little bit about the lore of this world. And so if you're interested, stick around and watch the full video. Leave a like if you enjoy it, and leave a comment for any future build suggestions. Consider subscribing and hope you enjoy. Hey, it's Muffin. In today's video, I share one of the recent castles that I built, located in my kingdom of Dawnfall, and situated on the border, overseeing the giant Sleep Town city that I'm currently making. The castle's primary function is to be the first line of defense for any army that invades Dawnfall, and its secondary line of defense is to function as a tax collector for any trade coming from the southern part of the continent. For a long time, I considered building some type of structure in this area, always trying to envision a castle, because the terrain was very suited to some type of fort or castle to be placed in this region. You see there's a mountain with one of its shoulders extending out towards the ocean, which kind of forces the road to make a bend, just making this an optimal position for a castle to be in. So that is why I chose to place it here, without acting as a defense, but also as a protection for Giant Sleep Town, which is just across the sea. This castle features several lines of defense within itself, with multiple gates and high towers overlooking it, with narrow roads funneling any attacking army into the main square, where again you have high windows that look down. Then you have your main keep, which is set even further back and higher up, and again looks down on the whole courtyard below. Despite the structure never actually being attacked in creative mode, which I play in, it's always something in the back of my mind to try and make my builds as practical as possible. So when trying to figure out the shapes and what type I want to build here, I looked at Alcazar of Segovia, which is in Spain, and I drew massive inspiration from it, kind of because of how narrow the build is and how set high up it is, but also because of the presence of towers on the front and on the sides, which is exactly where I needed it for this particular build. A few months ago, I was watching this video by Shadversity, where him and another person were debating on the definition of a castle. So one of the definitions that they came to was that not only does it have to be a fortified residence, for it to be a castle, it also needs to have some governance over any town or village. And that's why I introduced that town that we just flew past, so that this particular castle not only has the responsibility to protect Dawnfall from any invading forces, but to also act as the authority for that surrounding town, and also the lords for the castle that is in Giant Sleep Town. If we follow this road down, we get to Kagutsuchi, which is my Japanese themed build, but with that being the southernmost part of the map of this particular continent, it also then becomes the closest point of invasion. And then as a result, any army that may be coming towards Dawnfall will have to come through this road up from Kagutsuchi. So again, I used the positioning and the high walls and shaped them to fit the terrain as it was. One of the details about this build that I like a lot are that the matriculations are actually functionable. So you can shoot arrows down at any attacker, and the defenses along the top of the walls are set out a little bit, and they're also 2 blocks high, so that any person that stands behind them has their whole body covered and protected. Another unique feature is the sandstone and blue pairing. You won't see sandstone anywhere else on this continent, and that's because it's not a natural resource that was found here. So it kind of adds that mystery and that standout factor to this particular build as to how this build came to be. So for this build, we are over here with Dawnfall being just a little bit above, but as you can see, the mountain terrains kind of provide this natural defense to Dawnfall from this side, and they tend to loop into this reverse L shape, forming this narrowing of the lands. And that's why this location for the castle is so critical, because if we follow this road down, we see that Kagutsuchi is essentially an ocean bordering city, and with the pirates being so close by, it leaves this threat that brigands may eventually invade or completely bypass and come and invade through Giant's Lake town and make their way into Dawnfall. But in either occasion, you have a castle and its garrison that can quickly be dispatched to either defend against an invading army from this side or an invading army coming up from the south. In the story behind this build and the lore of this world, this continent is within the holds of one singular authority, that being the Kingdom of the Dragons. And so this castle itself hasn't really been put to use, nor will it be put to use unless there is an invasion or a rebellion. That brings about this video to its closure. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you've watched it through to the end, thank you very much. If you do enjoy this or my other content, please do leave a like. It really helps with the algorithm. Leave a comment down below, and subscribe if you enjoy. But most importantly, have a good day.